and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Marketing and Communications Department. And today my guest is Heidi Lewis. Heidi is the manager of the Hampton City Employees Credit Union. Welcome, Heidi.
Thank you, Robin. I'm glad to be here.
And we tapped Heidi not because it's the credit union, because of course not everyone can join that, but because you do a lot of educational efforts with city staff about credit issues and banking and financial issues, and we thought perhaps you could share some of that with our citizens today.
I'll be glad to. There's so many issues that impact consumers nowadays, and knowing your rights and knowing what you can do in issues related to your credit, in issues related to your bank or credit union accounts, it's really important. It empowers consumers to know what your rights are and what you can do to make your financial picture a little better.
That's great. And tell me a little bit about credit score, because you hear that term all the time, and you hear companies pitching that for a fee they will tell you your credit score or give you a report. How does that work exactly?
Credit scores are huge in this day and time. They truly are. I've been in financial institutions since the early 80s, and really in the mid-90s, people have always pulled credit reports, but when credit scores became available to financial institutions and other people who offer you credit, it made a huge impact on what consumers pay for credit. The higher your credit score, the less likely you are to cause a creditor a loss. So they can offer you credit at a much lower interest rate. Conversely, if you have a low credit score, it will cost you more money to do just about everything in this day and time. Your insurance rates are often based on what your credit score are. Whether you can rent an apartment, things of that issue. If you have problems on your credit that impact your credit score, it is huge. And it'll cost you a lot more money over your lifetime to have problems with your credit or a bad credit score than if you have a good credit score.
Wow. So what makes up this credit score? How do I make mine better, for example?
Credit scores are created by a matrix that the credit bureaus put together. They look at trends through credit, and they can see indicators that indicate whether or not somebody's going to cause a loss, go bankrupt, or not pay back a loan. And they use those to create a very complicated matrix that builds up your credit score. AnnualCreditReport.com is created by the three major credit bureaus. And there'll be a link to go to the three credit bureaus there: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. You click on their links and it takes you right to the site, and it's pretty easy to pull up your credit report. Now, what we tell all the members of our credit union when we have them pull their credit is make sure when you're online you save the report. They give you that option to save it, and if you've saved it, you can go back into your report for 60 days. And after you've printed it out and looked at it, and if you see a problem that's incorrect, you can go back into that saved report and dispute that error on your credit report.
Oh, okay.
But when you pull your credit report, it's going to have a lot of information on it. It's going to be quite long when you print it out. You get more information than any creditor who pulls your credit report will see. There'll be all your name and address information that's ever been reported to the credit bureau. It'll have public records on it, and those are things if you've had a collection, a judgment, a bankruptcy. Those are all reported in your public records. Then it'll show inquiries, so that's every creditor who's pulled your credit report. And then it'll have the most important thing, your trade lines. And those are things that are reported by all of your creditors to the credit bureau that show the name of the creditor, how long you've had that account, and what the balance on it is, what your original loan amount was, and what your payment is, and most importantly, whether it's ever been late. It'll show a 24-month history of your payments to that trade line.
Okay.
And if there are any late payments, that'll have negatively affected your credit score.
Things you can dispute or things you can improve on your credit score would be
Absolutely.
Pay on time, pay the minimum or more.
Absolutely. As long as you're paying your accounts current, that's the most important thing that I can tell everybody to do. Make at least your minimum payment. Make sure you're paying them on time. There are lots of other things we can tell you to do as far as improving your financial picture, like an impact on your credit score is sometimes your revolving credit and lines of credit that you have. When I speak of revolving credit, I mean credit card accounts, things that you can continually charge on. What we found is that quite often, if your credit card balance is close to your limit, that can have a negative impact on your credit score. It's showing the credit bureaus that this person is relying too much on their revolving credit accounts. So a suggestion we make to our members, if you want to try to improve your credit score, try to pretend that the limit on your credit card account is half of what it actually is. Try to keep any balance at half of what your limit is. If you have a $5,000 limit on your credit card, try to keep your balance at $2,500 or less.
What is the difference between a credit union and a bank? How would you explain that?
It's pretty major. The biggest difference between a credit union and a bank is a credit union is a not-for-profit financial cooperative. Credit unions were started basically, laws were passed back in the 30s in this country to give a group of people the right to come together, to pool their money, to have a place for people to save money, and then they turn around and lend that money to the same people in that pool. So you have a group of people that come together and form these financial cooperatives. And being not-for-profit is important. All the income that a credit union earns is returned back to its members. We don't have to pay interest or dividends to stockholders. What we're doing is giving our members lower interest rates, lower fees, giving them the benefits of the money that the credit unions earn. And I'm not saying that you can't get personal service from a bank. There are great banks out there. We've got some great local banks as well. My credit union, for instance, works with Old Point National Bank, and they're a great local bank. And I think that's important for people to remember, that you do have options out there. I'm not trying to put down the big multi-state national banks, but I think
they certainly bring big pools of money and resources to the table that might be an advantage that some people see in those.
Absolutely, but it's really important to look at your financial picture and what's in your best interest, because you do have options out there. And if you find that you are, really look at what you're doing. Are you paying a lot of fees? Are you having to keep a large balance in an account so you don't have to pay fees?
Bank fees have been in the news a lot lately.
They have been in the news a lot lately. And one of the things that the credit unions have set up, there's a website called asmarterchoice.org. If people are interested in the possibility of a credit union, you can go to that website, put in your information like your zip code, or and they'll pull up credit unions in that area that gives you options to look at, and it'll tell you a little bit about the credit union so you can find out whether you're eligible to join them. And believe it or not, this area, our Hampton Roads area, has the highest number of credit unions than any other area, not just in the country, but in the world, per person who lives there. We are a credit union dense area, so people have a lot of options here.
And some of them are big credit unions. I remember when I was business editor at the Daily Press, and we were pulling a list of, the top 5 banks by deposit numbers or something, and I said, you can't just stop at banks, because the deposits at some of the credit unions, they're right up there in terms of number of people who use them and the amount of money they're transacting.
I recommend to everybody, pull your credit report.
Okay.
And really be honest with yourself when you look at that, because we do see a lot of things on there that are small that people can work on to correct to improve their credit score. If you have any public records on your credit score, outstanding collections, judgments, things of that nature, start to work to get those things paid off.
And sometimes I think people don't know. I mean, I remember I had a doctor bill that was outstanding, and it was less than $5, so they didn't bill me for it. But it was on the credit report as me owing them something ridiculous, like $3.50. I'm like, oh, come on.
And you have no idea.
They'll turn it over to collections, but they won't send me a bill?
You have no idea what a huge impact that has on your credit score, and then ends up costing you more money when, oh my gosh, I need to buy a car now. What do you mean my interest rate's going to be 15%? So being proactive, taking the time now to look at your credit report, to try to correct problems, and then when you're in a pinch and, gosh, I need to borrow money and I need to borrow it now, is really going to save you money and help you in the long run. We see so often young people come into the credit union that, hey, we're getting ready, we want to buy a house. and we look at their credit and it's like, yeah, your scores are in the 500s. And in this mortgage market now, after the mortgage crisis, you have to have a credit score of at least 650 to get a conventional mortgage in this day and time.
And so that lower score may not mean they did have bad credit, it just may mean they don't have a credit history that is sufficient.
Sometimes. A lot of times if you don't have credit history, you won't have a score at all. And people will, most lenders will automatically categorize you at a higher interest rate point because they don't have a credit history to work from. So again, one thing that's important to do if you're a young person or if you have a young person, like we have, older teens, we have already got Hayden set up with a credit card.
Yeah, because I don't think, my kids even have checks, much less credit cards. It's such a different banking transaction environment now that I think they think all they need is the debit card.
If you have youngsters or teenagers, now's the time to start teaching them and putting them on the right path when you can have some control over what they're doing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm not sure that they're ready for a credit card yet. It's a temptation.
In this day
I got through my last semester of college on a credit card, and it was a little scary when I graduated, but it was the only way I could afford books and interview clothes and interview trips and stuff like that.
And lenders now, if you can't give a credit card to anybody under 21 years of age unless they have a proven income. So gone are the days when lenders were giving credit cards to college students with no income, because these people were graduating from college with huge amounts of debt and no way to repay those. So young people who want a credit card have to show that either they have an income or you have to have a co-signer, like a parent or guardian. And that can sometimes be a nice way of helping them control that. A credit card with a small limit where mom and dad are the co-signer that can keep an eye on what they're doing, it can be a good way to teach them the proper way to use credit.
Right.
And we find that hole there a lot in the education of younger people. I know that there are a lot of credit unions, especially the educators' credit unions, that are really active in schools with trying to have credit unions in schools to teach young people about that. But for the most part, I think the financial education piece is something that's missing from our kids in school nowadays.
I think it's moved out of the curriculum. I think the SOL pressure has really limited it's defined what kids learn, and some of that's in a positive way, but in some ways it has pushed out some of those other things, I think.
And sometimes too, we've seen basic financial education pieces are missing from adults as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I'll be talking to a teenager about checking accounts and how you do this and that, and the parents are just as interested as well. So it's an important piece, it really is.
I'm not a computer savvy person. Is there another way for me to check my credit report?
You can, theannualcreditreport.com, there's also an 800 number, and you can get your credit report by mail.
Okay. Because I think some of our audience out there is a little computer shy or doesn't have a computer in the house. And
you can do it by mail. You have to jump through a few more hoops, provide proof of your identity, maybe a copy of a bill that has your name and address on it. So you do have a few more hoops to jump through to get it via telephone or via mail. Computer is the easiest way to do it, especially if you have something to dispute.
Okay.
But there are other ways to get it, and I recommend everybody should do it at least once a year.
Okay, so if you take nothing away from today's discussion other than that, you're going to get a copy of your credit score and look at it, analyze it, see if there's something wrong.
Well, actually, you're going to get a copy of your credit report. If you want your score, you have to pay for it.
Oh,
so that's another thing that might help having a relationship with your bank or credit union. We'll tell our members what their credit score is. Don't buy it. Just pull your report. So,
because as an institution, you have access to that information.
And we have to pay for it. We have to pay every time we pull your credit, somebody's credit, to get the credit score. But we share that with our members to let them know what it is. If people really are concerned about what their score is, they can purchase it from the credit bureaus. And they do charge you some money for it. But I say start, before you pull your score, look at your report.
Okay.
That's free to you, and you can see if there are problems on there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming by today, Heidi. I will go look that up. I really will.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you for watching this episode of Round Robin. I hope you will go look up your credit report.